Mr. Wong Siu Hong, Director General of Education, Mr. Winston Hodge, Chairman, Singapore School Sports Council, Mrs. Lee Hui Feng, Chairman of Singapore Primary School Sports Council, principals, teachers, coaches, guests, boys and girls, good afternoon, and thank you for inviting me here today. I'm very delighted to be part of this combined National Schools Games opening ceremony for both the Singapore School Sports Council as well as the Singapore Primary Schools Sports Council. This is my first time here. It's not my first time at the Sports Hub, but it's the first time at this opening ceremony. But I think it's the first time the opening ceremony is being held at the Sports Hub, and it marks a very exciting way to start the school sports season. We're holding it here so that all of you, the schools, the athletes, the teachers, the guests, can have a sense of your Sports Hub and begin to feel right at home. This year, some of the school games being held here include badminton, netball, swimming and water polo. And we hope you enjoy it here and make this your space. There are more opportunities for this generation to participate in sports competitions. Last year, there were about 56,000 student athletes in more than 450 national and zonal championships at the National Sports Games. This is compared to about 20,000 students 30 years ago. 30 years ago, that 20,000 represented about 4% of the student population. And now we have about 12% from primary to pre-university participating in the National School Games. Then there were about 18 sports, and today we have 29 sports. So over the years, we are increasing the number of opportunities and bringing in more students to enjoy this. This doesn't, of course, include many of the other friendly competitions that the schools and our various partners run. In schools, the CCA program, together with the PE program, provide all students, not just the 12%, all students, many opportunities for recreational participation in sports and sports competitions, interclass competitions, carnivals, and friendly matches. All our students will have had the opportunity to experience at least 3 school-based recreational competitions by the time they finish secondary school. We want everybody, but especially the children, to enjoy a lifetime of active and healthy living and get off to a good start while they're in school. Sports provide more opportunities to develop character. When you win, you have to win graciously and learn how to win graciously. When we lose, we must learn to lose with dignity, but more importantly, to pick ourselves up after losing, not give up, learn about grit, learn about determination, most importantly, fight on and train harder, do better next time. There were some very important examples of sportsmanship and grit on display here in Singapore at the SEA Games and the ASEAN Para Games. I'm sure many of you are familiar with these stories. For example, our runner Ashley Liu, who slowed down during the SEA Games marathon event because his rivals had taken a wrong turn. His rivals had taken a wrong turn, so he slowed down, allowed them to catch up, so that then there would be a real competition for the finish line. So instead of taking advantage of the situation, he showed sportsmanship and character. I'm sure many of you will be familiar with the story of our Navy serviceman, Jason Chi, had a crippling accident 3 years ago. But after 3 years, he came back to take Singapore's first table tennis gold in our ASEAN Para Games. There's no other word for this apart from grit. Grit and the sheer character that he demonstrates. We have a lot to learn from people like this in sport, in the sports that we play, and as we apply those lessons to the rest of our lives. The National Schools Games is not short of similar examples. These examples are not just at our highest athletes, they start and they are demonstrated by the students in our schools. I'll give you a couple of examples, one example in particular. Last year at one of the basketball competitions, the girls' team from Ahmad Ibrahim Secondary School had possession of the ball in a very close-fought game. They had possession, few minutes to go, close-fought game. Everything to play for, as they say. They tried to advance, but one of the opposing players, not on Ahmad Ibrahim's team, one of the opposing players tripped and fell. Ahmad Ibrahim's team stopped, checked on the player, made sure that she was okay, made sure that she was safe, and then went on to play. They didn't win the game that day. If they had taken advantage of that situation, maybe they would have, but that wasn't their priority. They chose to make a choice, make sure their fellow sportsman was okay, have a real competition, and carry on the game. And despite losing, they walked away as champions. Sports can build character, can imbue values, teach us very important lessons. Behind this show of sportsmanship, there are teachers, coaches, parents, mentors, seniors, and their hard work in training the next generation, in demonstrating good values, in role modeling those values on a daily basis. These are also very important in patiently shaping, coaching, demonstrating character. I'll give you one example of this. A group of basketball, I'm sorry, both my examples are basketball. Maybe it's because we're waiting for a basketball match. A group of basketball teachers in charge of Telok Kurau Primary School wanted to help their students learn about sportsmanship. And so they did this by coaching their students to recognize positive attributes and give feedback and encouragement to positive attributes that they saw in the sportsmen around them. And so during one of the NSG basketball matches, the Telok Kurau basketball players will be looking for examples and opportunities to present a sportsmanship medal to the deserving player, with the whole team cheering for the player. But importantly, this medal is not for their own team. It's for their opponents. You have the whole team looking out to cheer and recognize and reward one of their opponents for demonstrating good sportsmanship for every match. This was an initiative of the teachers in their drive to train their students in the right attitudes and values using basketball. And their students then become advocates of sportsmanship among other players. We can all learn from these lessons. It's far more important that we demonstrate these values, we practice these values, and we pass these values on to each other rather than talk about it. Every school, every teacher, every official and supporter makes a difference to the life of every child that we guide and inspire. When we all work together, we multiply the experience and the opportunities for our children to be inspired, to enjoy sports, and to take those lessons into their life. There are now today more and more opportunities for both recreational sports as well as competitive sports for our students and for our athletes. We have better facilities, more competitions, wider range of sports. But making the facilities available, making the competitions available is never going to be enough. We need the hard work of our teachers and principals and coaches and the full participation of our parents and mentors and senior students to work hand in hand towards making the facilities come alive and making the games come alive with sportsmanship, imbue them with character, imbue them with values. For the athletes, inspire your teammates and the opposing team with your sportsmanship, your grit, your determination, your play, and your behavior. Do this in every game, regardless of winning or losing. Choose your attitude, choose your responses to victory and defeat. For the teachers, you already inspire your students to train well, play well. Please continue to do so. You lead them through this very important stage in their life. Train them hard to excel, but of course, it's the values and their character that we are most interested in. Finally, thank you very much for inviting me here today. I want to thank all the school leaders, teachers, MOE officers, coaches and officials for your dedication and service to sports and school sports in particular. To all our students, athletes, stay safe. I hope you have a great, fruitful national sports game. Play hard, enjoy yourselves. Thank you very much.